I was backing in, I turned around.
There was never a guest staying in here, Miss Blackwell. Everyone's accounted for.
Ruth, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Hi, Liam. Really great to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. Congratulations on The Woman in Cabin 10 being adapted for a feature film. I wanted to start there. It can be I've interviewed a lot of authors in my day. It can be kind of vulnerable to relinquish your work to a studio and have them kind of take the creative reins. What gave you the strength to say that Netflix was the right partner to bring your work to life?
I know, right? It's like waving your baby off to kindergarten and being like, please take good care of him. I mean, it's such an incredible team. Like, Simon Stone is a brilliant director. I've loved so many of his other projects. The cast is amazing. So although it did feel like a real leap of faith to say, you know, go take my book, do with it what you will, always felt like it was in really, really good hands. And yeah, I've been incredibly happy with the process.
Yeah, you mentioned Simon. I wanted to talk about him a bit as well, because I feel like you two had a bit of a creative relationship when it came to bringing this thing to life. What was that creative partnership like?
Well, actually, in large part, I was very happy to sort of just hand it over. You know, I think a book is such a different thing to a film. And I feel like a lifetime of reading books and writing them has given me a kind of innate knowledge of how a book should be and, you know, what it should feel like. I know nothing about creating a film. I've never read a screenplay. I've never written a screenplay. And there's so much, you know, like in the book, we're right inside Lo's head. We see her perspective all of the time. We don't really know what's going on outside of that. And it's so different to try to create that tension, but externally. So we feel what Lo's feeling, but what we're seeing, we know what we're seeing. And I had no clue how to do that. So I was very happy to let the experts and say, you know, go make the changes you need to do and just make it as good as you possibly can.
Obviously, when it comes to feature film adaptations, there will be some things that are adapted one-to-one because it works on the page and it'll work on the screen. But there's also some things that we have to finagle a little bit to make sure that they work better for the context of every hour 32 runtime. If this is a spoiler answer, you can be transparent. We'll save it until after release. But what was the one change that you saw Simon make, or the whole screenwriting process make, to your work that you were excited to see, that you thought was almost done better than the book?
Oh, what a great question. I mean, the ending is really different, and this is a spoiler. So don't air this before it all goes out. But in the book, Lo never really gets her showdown with the main antagonist. It all kind of plays off sort of off screen, if that's not a weird term to use for a book. In the film, she gets that moment, she gets that kind of closure, and I was so happy that they were able to make that work. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great scene at the very end with, oh my God, with the party and everything. It got me. We'll wrap with this. I know you have a couple other works that could be, you know, adapted for feature films. It seems like, especially we're in this like psychological thriller, murder mystery renaissance right now with everything going out with the Knives Out franchise. I loved all the Agatha Christie books that have been adapted for feature films lately. The Woman in Suite 11, that's one that I've had my eye on. Is that something you'd like to see on the big screen?
I mean, that would be incredible. Obviously, it would be amazing to see a sequel. But yeah, a few of my books I think are unfilmable. Like, just the way the twist works or the reveal works couldn't work on screen. But I'd personally love to see the It Girl on screen. That's set in an Oxford college, and I feel like we've got a bit of a vogue going on with that as well. So yeah, who knows?
Okay. Hey, a lot to look forward to in the world of Ruth Ware. Ruth, thank you so much for your time today. And again, congrats on The Woman in Cabin 11 being brought to live action life.
Thank you so much.